Right now, while you're watching this video, she's probably doing one of three things. She's either scrolling through her phone, wondering why you haven't texted. She's telling her friends how relieved she is that you're finally leaving her alone. Or she's already moving on with someone else. And you know what? All three scenarios are exactly where you want her to be. Because by the end of this video, you're going to understand something that 95% of men never figure out. The real power of no contact isn't about getting her back. It's about becoming someone she could never have in the first place. Let me ask you something brutal. When she left, what was the first thing you wanted to do? Text her, call her, show up at her place with flowers and apologies? Of course you did. Because that's what weak men do. They chase, they beg. They negotiate for scraps of attention from someone who already decided they weren't worth keeping. But here's what nobody tells you about breakups. The moment she walked away, she handed you the greatest gift of your life. She gave you permission to stop being the version of yourself that wasn't good enough. She gave you a chance to die and be reborn as someone unbreakable. Most men waste this gift. They spend months trying to convince someone who rejected them that they're worthy of love. But you're not most men, are you? You're here because something inside you knows there's a better way. A way that doesn't involve begging for breadcrumbs or waiting by your phone like a lovesick teenager. Today I'm going to show you the 5 phases of true no contact. Not the fake version where you're secretly hoping she'll come crawling back, but the real version that transforms you into a man who never gets played again. The first phase hits you like a freight train. Your body literally goes through withdrawal because whether you want to admit it or not, you were addicted to her. Addicted to her attention, her validation, her approval. You built your entire emotional stability around someone who could take it away whenever she felt like it. Think about it. How many times did you check your phone today hoping to see her name? How many times did you start typing a message and then delete it? How many nights have you laid in bed replaying conversations, analyzing every word, looking for signs that maybe, just maybe, there's still hope? This is your brain on withdrawal. And just like any addiction, the only way out is through complete detox. No contact means no contact. Not checking her social media, not asking mutual friends about her, not driving by places you used to go together. Cold turkey. Complete isolation from her digital and physical presence. Here's what happens in your brain during this phase. Every time you resist the urge to reach out, you're literally rewiring your neural pathways. You're teaching your brain that you can survive without her validation. You're proving to yourself that you're not as weak as you thought you were. But here's the part that will blow your mind. While you're going through this painful detox, something incredible is happening to her. She's starting to question everything. She expected you to chase her. She expected you to fight for the relationship. She expected you to prove that she was worth the pain. Your silence is the loudest statement you could possibly make. It's telling her that maybe, just maybe, she wasn't as irreplaceable as she thought. Around week 3 or 4, something shifts. The fog of infatuation starts to lift and you begin seeing things you were blind to before. This is the revelation phase. And it's going to hurt worse than the withdrawal phase because you're going to realize how badly you were played. You'll remember conversations differently. That time she said she needed space, but was posting pictures with other guys 2 days later. The way she would go cold whenever you needed emotional support. How she made you feel guilty for having standards or boundaries. The subtle ways she chipped away at your confidence while making it seem like she was helping you grow. I want you to think about this right now. In your relationship, who was doing most of the chasing? Who was always trying to fix things when they went wrong? Who was walking on eggshells, afraid to say the wrong thing? If you're being honest, it was probably you. You became a dancing monkey, performing for her attention. Terrified that if you stopped entertaining her, she'd find someone who would. This revelation phase is brutal because you have to face the truth about who you became in that relationship. You weren't her boyfriend. You were her emotional servant. You weren't her partner. You were her backup plan. And the worst part? You accepted it because you thought that's what love was supposed to feel like. But here's the beautiful thing about this phase. Once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. Once you realize how much of yourself you sacrificed trying to keep someone who was never fully committed to keeping you, something fundamental changes inside you. You stop missing her and start missing the version of yourself that existed before you met her. This is where the real work begins. You've detoxed from her presence and seen the relationship for what it really was. Now it's time to rebuild yourself from the ground up. But here's the key. You're not trying to become the man she wanted. You're becoming the man you should have been all along. Start with your physical presence. Hit the gym, not because you want her to see your transformation photos on social media, but because you want to remember what strength feels like in your own body. Every rep, every mile, every drop of sweat is you reclaiming your masculine energy that got diluted in that relationship. Next, reconnect with your purpose. What dreams did you put on hold while you were busy being her emotional support system? What goals did you abandon because she needed constant attention? What version of yourself did you sacrifice on the altar of her approval? It's time to resurrect that man. Here's something most men don't understand about this phase. You're not just becoming a better version of who you were. You're becoming someone completely different. Someone who doesn't need external validation to feel worthy. Someone who doesn't negotiate for respect. Someone who walks away from situations that don't serve him, no matter how much history is involved. The man you're becoming in this phase is dangerous to women like her. He's the man who doesn't chase because he knows his value. He's the man who doesn't argue because he knows his worth isn't up for debate. He's the man who doesn't beg for second chances because he understands that the right woman won't make him earn her love. Here's where most men fail. After weeks or months of silence, she reaches out. Maybe it's a simple "hey" text. Maybe it's a like on your social media. Maybe it's a full paragraph about how she's been thinking about you and misses what you had together. This is the ultimate test. Everything you've built, every ounce of strength you've developed, every lesson you've learned, it all comes down to this moment. How you respond will determine whether you graduate to the final phase or go back to being her emotional prisoner. Weak men take the bait immediately. They think her reaching out means she's realized her mistake. They think it's validation that all their pain was worth it. They respond within minutes, eager to prove they're the bigger person who's willing to work things out. But you know better now, don't you? You know that her reaching out isn't about wanting you back. It's about needing to know that she still has power over you. It's about confirming that she's still living rent-free in your head. It's about feeding her ego with the knowledge that despite everything she put you through, you're still available whenever she decides she wants your attention. Here's the response that separates boys from men. Nothing. Complete radio silence. Not because you're playing games, but because you've genuinely moved beyond needing her validation. You've reached a place where her opinion of you is as irrelevant as a stranger's opinion would be. The final phase is something most men never reach because they give up before they get there. It's called true indifference, and it's the most powerful place a man can exist in when it comes to women. True indifference isn't anger. Anger means you still care. True indifference isn't playing hard to get. Playing hard to get means you're still invested in the outcome. True indifference is a complete and total lack of emotional investment in what she thinks, feels, or does with her life. When you reach this phase, her name appearing on your phone generates the same emotional response as a telemarketer calling. When friends mention that she's dating someone new, you feel genuinely happy for her the same way you'd feel happy for any acquaintance who found something that makes them happy. When you run into her at the grocery store, you're polite but distant, the way you'd interact with someone you used to work with but haven't seen in years. This isn't coldness. This is freedom. Freedom from the emotional roller coaster that defined your relationship with her. Freedom from measuring your worth by someone else's ever-changing feelings about you. Freedom from the exhausting cycle of hope and disappointment that kept you trapped for so long. But here's the most beautiful part of reaching true indifference. You don't just become indifferent to her. You become indifferent to any woman who doesn't add genuine value to your life. You develop standards that can't be negotiated away by a pretty face or good conversation. You become someone who attracts quality people because you've become a quality person yourself. If you've made it this far, you're already ahead of 99% of men who get their hearts broken and never learn from it. But watching this video isn't enough. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. Here's what you need to do right now. First, if you haven't already, delete her number. Not because you're angry, but because you're committed to your own growth. Second, unfollow her on all social media platforms. You can't heal while you're still picking at the wound. Third, write down 3 goals you want to accomplish in the next 90 days that have nothing to do with relationships or women. Make them about you becoming the man you're supposed to be. But most importantly, I need you to understand something. This journey isn't just about getting over one woman. It's about becoming the type of man who never gets played again. It's about developing the strength and wisdom to walk away from anything that doesn't serve your highest good, no matter how much you think you want it. If this message resonates with you, if you're ready to stop being a victim of your emotions and start being the architect of your own destiny, Then smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Every video on this channel is designed to help you become unbreakable, unfazable, and completely in control of your own life. Drop a comment below and tell me which phase you're currently in. Are you still in withdrawal? Have you reached the revelation phase? Are you rebuilding yourself in the reconstruction phase? Wherever you are, know that you're not alone, and every day you choose yourself over someone who chose to walk away is a day you're becoming stronger. Remember, the goal isn't to get her back. The goal is to become someone she could never have in the first place. Someone so complete, so confident, so genuinely happy with his own life that he doesn't need anyone else's validation to feel worthy. That man is waiting for you on the other side of this silence. The question is, are you strong enough to become him?